The American Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived in Mexico on Wednesday in a bid to control the surging migration. Blinken held talks with the Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. Growing migration, of course, continues to cause chaos on the shared border. The high-level talks were in fact tabled as the 2024 presidential polls loom over the American President Joe Biden's head. And Wednesday's meeting was in fact followed by a phone call between the two presidents over the need to address border security. The trip comes as the Republican Party has called on President Joe Biden to crack down on the migration numbers. The Republicans have made the demand a prerequisite to vote in favor of one of the key priorities of the Biden administration, which is to provide aid and support to Ukraine. The meeting comes as a fresh wave of up to 15,000 migrants are set to hit base in the already brimming US-Mexico border. A caravan of about 8,000 asylum seekers, mostly from Cuba, Haiti and Honduras, are on the move towards the borders. Separately, in the past week, over 10,000 people crossed over the borders every day. Now, post the meeting, Antony Blinken took to his account on social media platform X to reflect upon the key agreements at the meeting. Referring to the migrant crisis, the Secretary of State said that the two countries are quote-unquote committed to partner over shared challenges. While the Mexican president has agreed to reduce the scores of people who cross over from Mexico, he's also pressed for understanding the root cause of migration. He's also asked the United States to give financial aid to the lagging Latin American nations where people are forced to flee to look out for better opportunities. The president has also spoken about the removal of restrictive U.S. sanctions from the governments of Cuba and Venezuela in order to help the countries prosper. Now, during his address, President Obrador has warned that the issue of migration can actually alter American politics. Now, the American presidential poll runners like Donald Trump have formed campaigns over a severe crackdown on migrants if brought back to power. Now, the aim of containment at the borders comes as record numbers of migrants continue to cross into the United States, both in 2022 and in 2023. Over 2 million people have been apprehended while trying to cross the southern borders. In 2022, scores of migrants risked their lives to cross the Darien Gap, a remote jungle region bridging Central and South America. After border authorities had cracked down on the usual routes, people resorted to the Gap, which is the world's most dangerous migration routes. In the financial year 2023, over 2.4 million migrants had crossed over the US-Mexico border, which is in fact the highest number of migrants that have been seen from Mexico itself, followed by Venezuela, Guatemala and Honduras. Separately, over 1,000 migrants died while taking the journey in 2023. The reasons include sickness and lack of adequate health care, drowning, lack of water, amongst others. And our correspondent Susan Tehrani has been tracking the story very closely for us and has sent us this report. Listen in.
Democrat mayors from sanctuary cities are uniting now, pleading for the Biden administration for more funding. Mayors from Chicago, New York, and Denver held a virtual meeting on Wednesday, basically talking about how they're doing everything they can. They also blamed Texas Governor Greg Abbott for sending migrants to their cities. Abbott, for his part, says that he will continue to send charter flights and buses to these sanctuary Democrat cities until President Biden does his job in securing the border. Meanwhile, Mayor Eric Adams of New York admitted that he hasn't been able to have a face-to-face meeting with President Biden since last year to talk about the migrant crisis here in New York.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.